God bless you. God bless our excellent teachers, and God bless the United States of America.
Well, that's former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. I spoke at a high school here in Tampa yesterday, Rachel, and it is an amazing challenge down here in Florida. I've never seen such diversity. The classroom I was in had 200 kids from all over the world, South Asia, Latin America, everywhere. An amazing challenge, and I have to give this governor, the former governor, credit. He's not a man of great bragging rights. He sticks to education. It's his one area he's focused on. He's not like his brother, W., who had all these grand notions of himself. He's humble. He's focused on one thing, and I think it's where the left and the right can agree. And Condi Rice certainly rang the bell last night, I thought, rather well. Education is the civil rights issue of the future. We have to win this fight. The fact that we're so far down on the totem pole right now, worldwide, in terms of math and science and general education, is the challenge. I think it's one thing the two parties could agree on in principle. How we deal with the teachers union is a problem, especially a problem for the Democratic Party. I live in Washington, D.C. I have to say, Randi Weingarten has not done a good job for our city. We have got a mayor who is not a good mayor. We've lost the best superintendent we've ever had of education, and I think the school teachers have to explain that. So I think this is something we can argue about, but I think Jeb Bush made a very powerful statement on behalf of quality education tonight.
You've got a debate, you got a fight brewing here with my friend Ed Schultz and with Al Sharpton.
Well, Chris, say if the 6 governors that were elected in 2010 have clearly gotten together and attacked public education and cut no less than $800 million up to $1 billion in Wisconsin out of education, and run a lot of good educators out of the business because they thought they were getting paid too much. They attacked their benefits, they attacked their days off, they attacked their training. I mean, attacking teachers is the philosophy of how to make things better in America when it comes to the Republicans. I find it interesting that
nobody attacked teachers. No one attacked teachers.
No, they are, Chris. They're going after how much money they make. They're going after.
Who attacked teachers? Who did that? Jeb Bush, if you listen, just came out for higher pay for teachers.
No. That's rhetoric. No, none of these 6 Republican governors that I'm talking about, Chris, are advocating any pay raises for any of these teachers. They want the old, experienced teachers out, and they want to get the young, cheap ones in place. That's their mission.
Oh, I see. The primary concern is the teachers who've been around a long time and want to keep their jobs. There's their primary.
You never had any aged teachers, or you mean experience doesn't count?
I think, Chris, in all fairness, the 10-year reform that we've seen in New Jersey that was praised by Chris Christie was negotiated by Randi Weingarten and the teachers union. I think when we see what this President Obama has done is exactly what you said about bipartisan. He got Newt Gingrich and I to go on a 5-city tour to talk about their education as a civil right. So I think this is something we can come together on. But there are those that want to privatize education for personal gain that are not concerned about the students. I think what Jeb Bush is doing in Florida can be studied, but I think there's some that have taken that way over the line to privatization and union busting. And there's a difference between union busting and privatization and education reform. That's education deform using rhetoric and really trying to do on a political agenda at the expense of the kids.
There are a lot of people out there who live in tough neighborhoods, mothers especially, who will jump at any chance for an opportunity scholarship, any chance for a better education for their children in the local public school.
What happens to the children that are left in that neighborhood? What about the other children?
Every time there's an opportunity, they jump for it because they want a better life for their children.
But what about the other children?
Scholarships.
But why do we have to select some children and leave others? Why don't we build a system that all children, government's job is not for some children to get out, it's to lift everybody up.
Where is the Republican Party on education?
And the way to do that is through opportunity and competition, not by stifling the hopes of kids in terrible neighborhoods, putting them in terrible schools. And there's not a person watching right now who doesn't want his or her child to go to the best possible school. And so the idea of holding them back is not going to win.
But Chris, I come out of those neighborhoods. I don't want to be the kid left in the neighborhood. You can't talk about choice and you know you're only talking about a certain pool, a small percentage will have a choice. That is not a choice. That is saying we're going to take some tokens out and not deal with the real education problem.
I don't think you'd call a kid who applied for a scholarship a token. I'd call that a merit, a kid who won a merit and opportunity for a better education.
Can I say this about what's striking to me is this equality of opportunity rhetoric is what we hear about this, right? America
offers equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. As equality of outcome expands massively in America, right, inequality is growing, we put more and more pressure. We say to the only institution in American life that is supposed to fix the inequality is the education system.
Right.
And the inequality grows and grows and grows, and we say to the education system, do more and more and more and more to fix it. If you are committed to equality of opportunity, as Jeb Bush and the Republican Party say they are, then how does cutting S-chip, cutting Medicaid, cutting food stamps for kids, cutting the entire universe of redistributive services for those kids provide equality of opportunity?
All right, this is a historic night, and this is a brilliant fight.
Speak from experience.
Sorry, Chris, I'll let you have the last word.
I know we disagree. I'm not with the teachers union on this. I have to say, this is one time I break with labor, Ed, and with you. I'm sorry.
Well, I think you're wrong. And I also think that teachers and unions fit. They only go into that classroom for the very best in mind for that student and to make sure that they hold school districts accountable to resource every child. The one thing great about public education in this country is when the doors open, everybody's welcome. The rich, the poor, the affluent, and the gifted and the challenged. But that's changing under the Republican plan, and that's what America needs to know.
All right, this is a historic night in American politics, not just because MSNBC is having awesome intra-MSNBC fights about really substantive issues by really well-informed people, which is the whole reason I wanted to be in television in the first place, and it makes me very happy. Not only because of that, also the Republican ticket that's being nominated tonight is different from any ticket ever nominated in this country. The Republican Party is breaking a glass ceiling tonight, and the Romney-Ryan campaign is about to put that spotlight on what they are doing that has never before been done. It is about religion, and it is coming up by design of the RNC and the Romney campaign in just a moment. This is new. It's never been done before. They've never talked about it this openly before. It's coming up. MSNBC's live coverage of the Republican convention continues. Stay with us.